So today's the day we're finally selling the 7.3, sadly. It's been a good truck. I've had it for about 4 years now. Towing the Miata, it's done awesome, never left me hanging. With the kid coming, we want to get something newer and a crew cab, hopefully something a little bit more comfortable. And it'd be nice because I have homies coming all the time and it's kind of sucks sitting in the back of a extended cab. The truck is getting sold to Kiefer. It's my homie. You saw him in Private Day drift video. He had the purple Z that was thrashing on 3-piece wheels. So hopefully it does good for him. It is going back up north to the rust belt and the truck already has some rust on it. So hopefully it lasts him a little bit longer. I mean, it's a low mile truck, so the engine and everything should be good. Hopefully the body holds up for him. But glad it's going to a friend. Hopefully he can make really good use of it. But let's sell it to him. He should be here any minute now. And hopefully in this video we get the new truck. Maybe a gasser, maybe a diesel. I don't know yet. Whatever we can afford, hopefully. But let's get it sold. So we're in the new truck. It's a 2017 Ford F-350 with a 6.2 liter gas motor. Decided to go away from diesel. We'll talk about that later. For now, I'm gonna get on the road. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Peace. All right, it is food time and we are stopping at Cane's. It is the lesser version of Zaxby's, but it's still pretty good. Well, it is pouring the rain right now. Hopefully this sounds good. It's not all, you know, rained out. So we got the Cane's. I know in the last video we were talking about Zaxby's, but they don't have Zaxby's up north because Northerners are wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Cane's is pretty good. I'd rather have Zaxby's, but regardless. So let's talk about the truck. My buddy Kiefer bought the 7.3. I posted up on my story saying if anyone's interested in it, I probably might be selling it sometime. And me and him went back and forth and he really wanted it. We agreed on a price and it was a pretty good price. I think it was good for both of us. Then this popped up. So let's go into that. This popped up yesterday. It had listed as 2014 F-350 XLT, which if you don't know anything about Fords, from 11 to 16 was a generation, and then 17 to I think 23 or maybe 24 was another generation. From 17 and on is when they did the aluminum bodies and some upgraded frames, so the frames are stronger. So with that being said, if they listed as a 14, it's a later generation and should have been a little bit cheaper, which it was, because they priced it as a 2014. So it was priced at $29,000, and I saw it and I was looking at the picture. I was like, that's not a 14. I wonder if either they messed up and it is a 17, or they got a 14 with some 17 pictures. So call the salesman. I was like, hey, I'm really interested in the vehicle. Y'all don't have any updated pictures. Can you please send me some pictures? So he ended up getting around to sending me pictures, and sure enough, it was a 17. So I was like, yo, all right, this is where I need to play my cards right. I didn't tell him I knew it was a 17. I was like, I'm really interested in this vehicle. Can you please lock this price in? If you can, I'll be up there next day to come and get it. Sure enough, he said, we're good. We can do that for you. So we got it done, and then we were working on some things, and shortly after he texted me and said, hey, by the way, it's not a 14, it's a 17. We messed up, but we will still do the price we agreed on, which was awesome. So from the pictures that he sent me, I noticed that it was a Lariat. I don't know if you can see, but that's a sunroof. It's got heated and cool seats. It's basically fully loaded, which is amazing. I wasn't actually looking for this. I was actually looking for an XLT, or the one in between the XL and the XLT, which is an STX. A really lesser version with all the bells and whistles. So this is definitely what I was looking for, but I won't complain because it's freaking awesome. This truck should book for probably $35,000 to $40,000. So I'm getting an amazing deal on this truck. I'm actually pretty stoked. It was a northern truck. There is some like frame rust and stuff. Nothing too bad. I've consulted with all my car friends. The consensus that we came to is that it's not alarming. It's still a good buy. The frame has some surface rust. There's a couple spots that is worse than others, but it's stuff that could be replaced, taken off, could be replaced, but the whole frame itself is good. What we came down to is that we can scuff the stuff off and put stuff to prevent it from getting worse. We'll show you later. We'll go more in depth into the truck, but that's boom, that's the whole story of how we got this thing to go from why I went to diesel to gas. Basically, it boils down to the new diesels there's a lot going on, especially with the emission stuff, and I don't tow heavy enough to need a diesel. The only reason I had a diesel is my buddy Brandon Ray. I don't know if he even watches the videos, but he's an amazing dude, and he helped me get my first truck, and he knew the guy that I bought it from. It was a really good deal when I got it. I didn't even know what a 7.3 was. I didn't even know the difference between diesel or gas. I just know it was a truck that could tow my Miata, so I got it. It ended up being like legendary diesel that everyone wants, and it was cool. If it was a crew cab, I'd probably still have it, but that's kind of the reason why we went gas, is that one, I didn't need diesel. I don't tow heavy enough. Two, it's like almost $10,000 more to get in this mileage range. So this one has 145,000 miles on it. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it has 145,000 miles on it. This was a diesel truck. It'd be way out of my price range. So we were trying to stay under 30. There's that. I mean, sure, I would love a diesel. It's cool. There's a cool factor, but there's also like, it's going to cost a lot of money when shit breaks. And with this, it's going to be probably half the cost, and I can actually do it myself. Also, this has the rating to tow everything I want. So the future plans of towing is to get a 16 to 18 foot enclosed trailer with the Miata with the Miata loaded down. It should be like under 10,000 pounds, so we'll be more than in the range for this truck. And I think they have 385 horsepower and 400 something foot-pounds of torque, so it's like 100 foot-pounds less of torque than the 7.3, and it's got more horsepower, so we'll be good. And these things are tanks. These 6.2s are tanks from what I've read, and it's the same transmission that the Powerstroke uses, so those transmissions are solid units as well. It's a 6-speed, it's not the 10-speed sadly, but it's gonna be a good truck. It's a unit, it's fully loaded, it's got a lot of miles, but for newer vehicles, that's really not that much. I think we got a really good deal. I'm excited to tow with it. So I know I said I was done with drifting, but I might get the Miata ready and go do an event and not like take it seriously, just kind of see how it is towing. I'm gonna eat this food before it gets cold. I'm trying to get home on a good time, so we'll talk a little later. We'll go over the truck Friday when it's sunny, and y'all can kind of see everything I mentioned in this. So I'll see y'all when we get back. Make sure we made it safe and sound, then we'll go over the truck Friday. It's unlocked. Are you getting first ride?
I'm gonna check it out.
She said it's gonna be too late.
to go for a drive. Yeah.
Well, look what you're about to do. So let's start this off with the bad of the truck. It's not really bad, but I know a lot of people don't like this feature, even though it is kind of a cool feature. And that's the tailgate step, or as Kyler would call it, the sissy step. But, I mean, I think this is still pretty cool. You can kind of get up in this tall ass truck without much effort. So, I like it. Probably save a lot of time, load the truck maybe. I don't know. I'll tell you, this truck is very tall, and jumping in and out of that would get old after a while, so pretty cool. I might use it, might not. The next thing with the truck, which is probably just a me thing because I drive a lot of Hondas, is these dials are flipped on a Honda. So this is your volume and everything. This is your speed control and all the stuff for the instrument cluster. So this is taking a lot to get used to. It's probably, like I said, just a me thing. The only other bads that I can think of is what we were talking about earlier in the video, was there's some rust down here on the frame. A lot of it right there on the shock. Here's the rest of the frame. Kind of see the other shock over there. Here's a little of it right there. But for the most part, it's really not that bad. This is the front. It's got that bushing a lot, pretty bad. So the other spot is this front cross member thing. It is pretty rusty, but it's something that I could probably replace one day. But everything else, I mean, after looking at it now, it's really not that bad. I think I was just freaking out. I just didn't want to make a bad decision. Now let's talk about the goods about the truck, because there's a lot. First, to start off, it's a gasser. A lot of people are gonna be like, ooh, gasser. Well, again, like we mentioned earlier, it's probably the best for me. And this thing is actually a pretty good unit for carrying around this big ass F-350. I mean, it'll get up and go. We still got to see how it tows, which I've watched a lot of videos because I research a lot of stuff before I buy things. And there's tons of videos of people towing 10, 14K with these things, and it's handling it really well. And we have a lot of technology to make these gas motors actually a viable option for a tow vehicle now. So I'm feeling really confident still, especially 2 weeks after owning the vehicle. 6.2, definitely a plus for me. So other cool features with it being a Lariat, it came with this chrome package. So the front little tow hooks are chrome. Looks pretty nice, matches the whole front end, how it's all chrome and whatnot. So since it's an FX4, it came with these Ranchero shocks, which we're gonna end up replacing anyways. There's a couple other like off-road options. I think it's a skid plates and whatnot, so the whole underside is skid plated. It also came with power folding mirrors. We got different seating positions and steering wheel positions. So in case Sydney or I get in here, it'll switch it up for us. Adjustable in and outer mirrors, pretty gnarly. One switch roll down, one switch up for the front, not for the rears. It also has adjustable pedals, which I'm not really fond of. I feel like these go out. The rear tailgate comes down with this little switch. I always think that's pretty cool. So these switches are supposed to be lights for the mirrors, like on the underside of them, but I haven't seen much going on. We got dual climate. We also got heated and cooled seats for both of us, for both sides, which is sick. We also got a power inverter for the front and back to have AC, which is also pretty freaking cool. This little doodad came with it. I think they screwed into the actual dash, so we're gonna leave it. It also is nice to have the little phone up here, especially on long trips, you can see everything. Also found out it has a heated steering wheel, which turns on when you auto start it in the winter. Found out the steering wheel is hot one day driving. I was like, there's no way this thing has heated steering wheel, and sure enough it does. It's just in the climate control, which is kind of weird. We also have a full sunroof. It goes all the way back. Pretty freaking sick. And then this portion opens up. And also the rear glass is controlled up here too. Other cool features, there's tons of cup holders up here. And then this thing, you can hide like freaking baby down there. There's so much room down there. The thing also has Apple CarPlay, which was a big plus when shopping for these vehicles. So the 2011 through 2016 did not have Apple CarPlay in it, which was a big Debbie Downer for me. I think you could get it in the 16, but you had to get like a Lariat or higher with the infotainment setting. You had to buy something, and I was like, it's not worth it. Once I figured that out, I was like, maybe I can find 2017 in my price range with Apple CarPlay stuff, and then I'll just be happy. So when I envisioned having a nicer truck, it was a 17 or up, because I mean, obviously that's what you see around all the time. And again, I didn't want this fully loaded thing, but we got lucky. One of my favorite features besides Apple CarPlay is this right here. We're gonna go into reverse. Then we can see everything. Finally, we have a rear view camera, and we also have this, where you can see directly to line up the trailer. I'll go ahead and admit, I'm not the best with backing up to my trailer. I used to get Sydney to help me out a lot, and this will make it a one-person job to get the trailer now, which makes me feel amazing. I hate having to inconvenience people, especially Sydney, so hell yeah. And we got the full black leather interior, and a nice little chrome footstep. Got the nice chrome 18-inch wheels. And then back here, there's these little LED lights. And at night, these things light this thing up like a hot tub, plus those LED lights up there, which 10 times better than the Ford we had. You couldn't see dick in that thing, mainly because the cab lights weren't fixed, which I should have done it, but lazy, I didn't want to do it. Pretty big plus for me, especially because I end up loading last minute at night, and that will help a lot with throwing stuff in the bed of the truck. So let's start the truck up. You can see how quiet it is inside. I know a lot of you have watched a lot of my videos, and y'all have seen the clips inside the 7.3 truck, and it was loud. So here we go. So quiet, and hopefully we'll hear the radio. The radio is really good in this thing. The radio in this thing is awesome. Give it a little rev up. Just quiet as can be, man. So this thing averaged about 14 miles per gallon come back from Ohio, which was an 8-hour drive, which is not bad. From what I've read, this thing should get about 10 to 11 towing, which still not too bad. I think the 7.3 got about 12 to 13 towing the Miata. Pretty good in my book. So this is my new truck. Hope y'all guys like it. I'm ecstatic to have this truck. I know it might look fancy and nice on the camera, but I assure you, it has its blemishes. There's some stuff I miss, like the back glass had been blown out before. I found glass all under the back seat like a couple days after buying the truck. I missed the belt. The rear right passenger seat belt was just completely cut. There's a couple other things I missed, like there's a lot of dings in the body. One of the doors doesn't line up correctly, and again, it has almost 150,000 miles on it. So keep that in mind. This is a high mileage vehicle. It's not brand new off the lot, so I'm not trying to flex or anything. We just needed an upgrade, and the 7.3, as good as it was, one day would leave us hanging, and I didn't need that stress of trying to fix that truck while we have all these other things going on. As you know, we have like 6 vehicles we got to finish, so I appreciate those who have stuck around, listened to me ramble on about this thing. Again, I'm not trying to gloat. It's just, I'm excited. I've been wanting a nice truck for a while. Finally, the universe aligned, as Jim Yokes would say. So with all that being said, I appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.